This is not a video game. This is not Hollywood. This is 100% real. This is XP1K.
April 14th, 2010. Don Wall, president of the Southern Nevada Off-Road Enthusiasts Group, is carefully marking the course for what is known as the Great American Race. In less than 6 weeks, hundreds of professional and amateur off-road race teams will descend upon the city of Las Vegas and the desert just beyond to try their luck at conquering the most challenging and unforgiving off-road race course in America.
Some of the most intense off-road racing there is. Everything from shale, granite, rat tail files, cinder blocks. This stuff's abusive. Tears up tires, tears up transmissions. This is what I like about off-road racing. Maximum mayhem. I love it. Welcome to the Mint.
The course is very challenging and it's, I think, suited for me.
I want to have a piece of it. I want to put my name on that trophy. Oh, that's what racing's all about.
Talk about a story. It's man versus man, man versus nature, man versus machine. It's just like going to war. It's the thrill of battle.
The ground's super rough, whooped down in a lot of areas, and there's a lot of loose rocks hanging around, flying up.
You know, I always thought to myself, someday, I want to do that. Here we are, 24 years later, racing the trophy trucks.
General Tire Mint 400. In 1967, a group of dreamers led by Norm Johnson created the Great American Race. What started as a public relations stunt to promote the Mint Hotel's annual deer hunting contest became one of the most challenging off-road competitions in America.
Had no conception. No idea. All I knew was I wanted to promote the deer hunting contest.
Norm sent 2 identical dune buggies through a grueling off-road course from the Mint Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada to the Sahara Hotel in Tahoe, California. They tackled over 600 miles of the roughest desert in America, giving birth to the Mint 400 off-road rally. The resulting media coverage sparked a huge amount of interest from the race community. The second year of the race, Norm enlisted the help of his friends, famed race car drivers Mel Larson and Parnelli Jones. With Larson and Jones endorsing the race and a guaranteed prize purse of $30,000, the entry list quickly grew to over 100.
So I says, how would you like to race in an off-road race, Mel? He says, what's an off-road race? I said, I can't really describe it except that it's off-road in the desert, in dune buggies.
Because the race was based in Las Vegas and open to all race teams regardless of affiliation, the Mint became a legendary event that attracted rock stars, actors, top race car drivers, and many celebrities of the day. The Mint 400 was further etched into American cultural history in 1971, when the race was depicted in Hunter S. Thompson's epic novel, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The novel was later made into a feature film starring Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro. In 1972, Mint Hotel executive K.J. Howe produced The Girls of the Mint 400.
I kind of took a page out of Playboy magazine with the girls of the Big Ten and the girls of Southeast Asia, the girl, and I said, we've always had one girl, Mint girl, but I said, we got to have a major national contest for the girls of the Mint 400.
The beauty contest was used to add glamour and PR value to the race. Hundreds of entries were received from models, actresses, and pageant winners around the world.
From Linda Carter to Vanna White to Tracy Vaccaro, up through all the girls that went right up to 85 when I was involved. I mean, it was just one of those specific differences that we had at the Mint for the Mint 400 that gained us a lot of publicity.
Another of Howe's important innovations was to place the technical and safety inspection procedure on the famous Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas.
Every little bit of glamour that I could glean out of Las Vegas, I would and did, and tried my best to use Las Vegas as the backdrop, which is why I took the Mint 400 tech inspection out of the back lots and out of parking lots and put it right on Fremont Street.
Tech became one of the highlights of the Mint 400 race, as it drew thousands of spectators to view the extraordinary and innovative off-road racing machines up close and personal. The race continued to thrive and grow until 1988, when the Mint Hotel was sold and the race organizers disbanded. The Mint went dormant, but not forgotten, for nearly 2 decades. In 2008, the Mint 400 race was resurrected by the Snore Off-Road Race Group. It quickly returned to its former glory as the new generation of off-road racers jumped at the chance to compete in a race with such rich history.
My dad overalled this race in 1986, Mark McMillan, and so he's been giving me crap about that the whole weekend, saying, I won it, you better do better than I did.
If there's one race in the United States I'm not missing, it's this one right here, and a testament to how big it is the big names that have come out. I mean, over 60 unlimited vehicles is no joke.
The older contingent of racers were just as excited, and for the past 2 years, the Mint 400 has been the most important off-road race in North America. Contingency, or technical inspection, took place right in front of the casinos in old downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Off-road race fans turned out to watch the racers parade their custom-built race machines and sign autographs.
Welcome to the 2010 General Tire Mint 400. This race is sick, off the hook, and it's going to give you guys a challenge tomorrow.
Contingency also gives the racers and fans a chance to check out the latest off-road related products.
Yeah, I raced the Mint last year. We came out here with Rob Ryerson, another pro truck driver. He asked me to come out and drive with him because we weren't planning on racing it. So I came out with him and I got to drive 3 of the 4 laps, and we won it in the pro truck last year.
The highlight of Contingency is the unlimited race vehicles, as these teams spare no expense in their quest to create the ultimate off-road machine. With no restrictions on design, power, or budget, teams can spend over $500,000 in the development and construction of their race cars. Since each vehicle is unique and custom-built, fans flock to get up close and inspect both the design and craftsmanship.
Looking for a good day tomorrow. Never been on the track. Heard it's rough, heard it's rocky. Just gonna get around it one time. I'm doing 1 lap and just gonna have fun with it.
Qualifying in this race is probably more important than most races because of all the silt. And if you're out in front, you have it made. If you're in the back, you're battling all day long.
First time I came to the Mint was 1980, the first year my dad did this race. Back then they were getting around 200 unlimited entries, and right here on Fremont Street was an absolute madhouse.
This is the biggest race in all of America. I mean, yeah, the Baja 1000 is the biggest off-road race there is, but when you're talking about the continental United States, this race, nothing compares to it.
The annual Miss Mint contest began in February, when a record number of Miss Mint hopefuls registered to be Miss General Tire Mint 400 on the General Tire website. The public narrowed over 100 entries down to 3 finalists, and the new Miss Mint was crowned in a special ceremony on the main stage on Fremont Street, under the sparkling lights of the famed Fremont Street canopy. In the end, it all came down to one lucky lady, Allie Kostler of Anaheim, California. Allie was crowned the 2010 Miss General Tire Mint 400 and received a prize package that included $1,500 and a professional photo shoot. One of the unique and important features of the Mint 400 is qualifying for start position. The faster competitors start in front of the slower racers, making the race faster for the pros and much safer for the entire field. Qualifying took place on a 5-mile loop of the lower part of the race course the day before the race and included a healthy taste of the challenge to come. Dust and silt are a major factor, so those racers that qualify fastest earn a sizable advantage heading into the race. Roger Norman was the fastest qualifier with a time of 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Right on his heels were Bobby Baldwin, Lloyd Sproul, B.J. Baldwin, and Bryce Menzies, setting the stage for an all-out battle between the top unlimited trophy trucks for the overall victory. For the drivers competing in the race and the crews that support them, the excitement of competing in the Mint quickly gives way to the pressure of preparing for the most challenging and unforgiving stretch of desert in the United States. It's one thing to talk about the Mint, but to race it and finish at the top of your class takes skill, luck, and a little bit of crazy. After a spectacular qualifying run, Roger Norman is first off the line, with Bobby Baldwin starting 30 seconds behind. Over 60 additional unlimited vehicles start right on their heels. The General Tire Mint 400 consists of 4 100-mile laps, which include some of the roughest terrain the Nevada desert has to offer. There are 26 classes of vehicles, ranging from the unlimited anything goes trophy trucks, all the way down to stock VW bugs. The vehicles start 30 seconds apart, some 2 at a time, and are carefully tracked with electronic transponders so that race officials always have accurate location and race timing information. As the sun continues to climb in the eastern Nevada sky, Roger Norman remains firmly ahead of the pack, with Bobby Baldwin and Lloyd Sproul right on his tail. The racecourse has turned into a dust bowl, which begins to have disastrous effects for even the most seasoned racers. A mere 11 miles into the race, the young prodigy, ballistic B.J. Baldwin, goes off course in an attempt to pass Lloyd Sproul. He smashes a massive rock, temporarily stopping the number 97 General Tire trophy truck. BJ's co-driver, Johnny Nelson, hops out to assess the damage. The left front wheel and assembly have been shattered into pieces. BJ and Johnny decide to risk further damage and drive the wounded vehicle into the next pit for repair. Meanwhile, less than 20 miles into the race, the gap between the top 5 unlimited vehicles has narrowed to mere seconds, and a fistfight is about to break out over who gets ahead of the chase pack to reel in Roger Norman. Lloyd Sproul and Bobby Baldwin both miss a critical turn and hesitate before continuing in the right direction, allowing Bryce Menzies and Rick Johnson to make up valuable time.
Hey, Brian, when you get to us, go around the outside of that turn. Don't try to drive through the middle of the turn. Pull out of the groove before the turn and just turn around the outside of the turn.
Rick decides it's time to get past those in front of him and get back to clean air. And as the trucks enter the rock garden, he puts on a passing clinic. In less than 50 miles, he catches and passes all 3 trucks in front of him, moving forward to second place overall. Rick has been busy planning for this moment for months. Rick D. Johnson is a true veteran of off-road racing. He has competed in hundreds of races over the past decade and won many of them. His method for success has been perfecting his vehicle by personally building and maintaining a great deal of it, while benefiting greatly from a seasoned and professional crew, many of whom were volunteers.
You know, some of my guys have been with me my whole career. They've been, helping for 20 plus years. And now, fortunately, very fortunate to have the program and race. Like I said, it's due to a lot of hard work and dedication from, a lot of people.
Rick and his crew know better than most how important it is to prepare for the epic 400-mile battle that they are now in the middle of.
Yeah, so last year the Mint went pretty well, but last year you had to draw for your starting position, so we didn't have a good starting position. It's very difficult to pass. The Nevada desert is very, very dusty. It's a lot of silt there. You worry about, you got to slow down for the guy for the dust, but then you're worried about the guy behind you, plowing into you. So that's a concern, but I think I'm more worried about doing well. We want to do well. You think about everything you got to do to be ready, and did you do all the right things? So, you have your strategy right, you have the right people where they need to be, I think that's what I'm more worried about is just being ready, and it just seems like it's never enough time.
Within the first 2 hours of the Mint, the entire field of over 200 off-road vehicles left the start line 30 seconds apart. The Nevada dust played havoc with some of the most experienced off-road race teams on the course, including unlimited trophy truck driver B.J. Baldwin. And Rick Johnson made a strong move from 5th position up to 2nd, passing 3 trophy trucks in less than 30 miles of blistering heat and blinding silt beds. Roger Norman continued to barrel ahead of the chase pack in first place. He had clean air and open roads, which gave him a massive advantage over those behind him. With an 8-minute lead over Rick Johnson and nearly halfway through lap 1, he was still pushing hard. B.J. Baldwin arrived at Pit A and made a mad dash for the main pit in a chase truck to rendezvous with his father's vehicle. His truck was quickly repaired, and team members Chad Ragland and co-driver Johnny Nelson returned to the heat of battle. As the competitors moved through the second half of lap 1, it became clear that Norman, Flores, Johnson, Dean, and Nunley were all off to a great start. Chasing the leaders by a mere 4 to 8 minutes were Jeffries, Householder, Lettner, Scott, and Macbeth. Near the end of lap 1, the father and son team of Rich and Jason Voss experienced an electrical problem and was forced to pull off the course. Kent Croker, racing the General Tire Class 8 truck, had mechanical issues during the first lap as well, barely making it back to the main pit, where his crew had to swap their transmission.
We were hoping to have a really good race and run hard with the big boys up front, and got out there 4 miles, and the transmission wasn't shifting right. And we blew a transmission in testing and changed it the night before contingency. And so my spider sense has been telling me that there's something wrong. And this whole time I'm thinking, okay, something's not right. And sure enough, we come off the line, and 4 miles later, we blow the transmission. So Snore was great. They towed us back here to the pits, and we're throwing in transmission number 3. Our motto is we just don't give up. Period. That's just how it goes. We don't give up.
B.J. Baldwin, meanwhile, took over driving duties for his father Bobby in his number 96 Unlimited truck. Though Bobby's truck was still more than 13 minutes behind race leader Roger Norman, it was close enough that the team decided B.J. was the best option for trying to catch back up to the lead pack. B.J.'s crew chief Corey Beecham explained their strategy.
We're about an hour and 26 minutes into the race. Early in the race, BJ was trying to pass Sproul, clobbered a huge rock in the dust. He said he was going about 110 miles an hour and definitely knocked the wind out of him a little bit. got that truck fixed. BJ then got in a chase truck, came back here to our main pit to take over for Bobby's truck. So we got in Bobby's truck, so now BJ is actually driving Bobby's truck, which is one of the reasons why we registered BJ on both trucks. So if something like this happens, he can still get in a truck that may still have a chance to win the race. So he's about 13 minutes down on time right now to the leader on corrected time. And Chad is driving BJ's truck, which is back running again. So that's kind of where we're at right now, about 2.5 hours into the race.
As the top racers made their way past the start-finish line and began lap 2, Roger Norman remained out front as the race leader. TJ Flores, who failed to qualify in the top 10 and started 15th overall, passed 10 of the top unlimited vehicles and sat in second place. Rick Johnson, Pat Dean, and Greg Nunley rounded out the top 5.
Go.
The 96 truck of Bobby Baldwin is 11 minutes behind. Race 96 to mile under 1-5, everything is okay. Race 96 to pit 80, Bobby. I need a visual check on the driver's side real tire, please. Rick Johnson is 5 minutes ahead, guys. Rick Johnson is 5 minutes ahead, guys.
Rick Johnson finally stopped for tires and fuel at a remote pit more than half a lap after most of the field. Pushing extra miles before pitting was part of his strategy to stay out in front of the pack, and it kept him close to the leader all morning. After being down for over an hour with electrical issues, Rich Voss returned to the race and headed to the pit to exchange driving duties with his son Jason. Spending time together as a family is a common thread in off-road racing, and the Voss family is no exception. The father and son team of Rich and Jason Voss have been steadily moving up the ranks in off-road racing after competing for more than a decade on bikes.
I race dirt bikes, and we've been in the desert our whole life.
It's a great time and a great way to spend time with the family.
We got into the pro truck stuff with Ivan Stewart. We ran that for a couple years. We learned a lot. We raced against Bill Dolsolo was racing then, and Rick Johnson and everyone, and it was a real fun class. And we won a championship there, and we won the Best in Desert Series there and score. And the class was kind of dying out a little bit. All the guys that we were racing against are real good. We're moving up to trophy truck. We wanted to step it up and go race that.
Try to win a race. That's our goal. Cut and dry. Nobody wants to be second.
We got, I think it's like only the 6th Jimco truck built. Ours is the most recently one built, and right out in the box. It's the first trophy truck I've ever driven, and it's crazy.
The thing just takes it. You just can't feed it too much throttle. It just goes. It loves it. And so I think this truck's it's ready to be a contender, and this team is certainly ready.
Halfway through lap 2, Roger Norman arrived at pit B for tires and gas and switched drivers, putting in off-road bike and four-wheel legend Larry Rossler. Larry has more Baja wins than anyone on the planet and is a heavily experienced and respected driver. He'll be hard to beat if the number 8 trophy truck continues to run problem-free. Roger Norman explained how his team had to adapt their tire and gas strategy to overcome the brutal mint course.
First lap and a half was fantastic. We just kind of just got a pace going and wound up getting a little bit of extra time, and we were able to actually slow it down a little bit. We went through the rock garden twice, and when we did the tire change, the tires really needed to be changed. They were, you know, that rock garden is really tough. The course is so silty and it's so deep. I mean, it takes so much horsepower. Our gas mileage is really down from what would be normal from, say, Baja. And so we're stepping up our pit stops a little more often now just to make sure that we have no issues. And we're doing tire changes every pit also. I handed off the truck with a 8-minute and 32-second lead, so we're looking good.
Larry Rossler, now driving for Roger Norman, continued to put time on the field, moving another 3 minutes ahead of the chase pack. Pat Dean has moved from 4th to 2nd overall, while Rick Johnson held down 3rd overall. BJ Baldwin, driving the number 96 trophy truck, passed an astounding 11 unlimited vehicles and dozens of lower-class vehicles during lap 2 to take 4th position overall. Lettner moved from 8th to 5th. Bill Macbeth also had a fantastic 2nd lap. He moved from 10th position into the number 6 spot. TJ Flores fell back from 2nd to 7th after stopping to repair a broken coil spring. Bryce Menzies emerged from the chaos of lap 1 and suddenly took control of the number 8 position. It's the start of lap 3 at the Mint 400. 200 miles into the epic 400 race, Larry Rossler replaced Roger Norman as the driver for the number 8 trophy truck and passed the start-finish line. The rest of the top competitors came into the main pit for tires and fuel. As the 3rd lap began, the race teams struggled to find their 2nd win. The course had begun to take its toll, and the second half of the race would to be even more difficult for those still in the hunt for the overall win. After a fresh set of tires and gas, BJ charges out to continue to reel in the race leader, Larry Rossler. BJ is physically 2nd on the road, well within striking distance of the overall victory. Lap traffic became a major issue as the trophy trucks and Class 1 cars have caught the slower vehicles. Just getting around the course is a challenge, even for the unlimited classes. The real off-road warriors are the stock classes. They've chosen to battle the course with limited horsepower and limited suspension, with the goal of crossing the finish line under the 17-hour time limit. Less than 40% of the starters will make it to the finish in time. After having multiple mechanical issues, local Las Vegas hero TJ Flores is back charging down the course at breakneck speeds. TJ came up through the ranks of off-road racing by working at Butch's Speed Shop, which has been a fixture in off-road racing for over 40 years. Countless race cars have been built, prepped, and welded back together here. It was here at the age of 21 where TJ Flores began learning the coveted art of building, prepping, and fixing off-road race cars under the watchful eye of Butch Dean. TJ began off-road racing at age 17 in a Class 11 car and steadily moved his way up to become a dominating champion in Class 1.
To come from really not much, I mean, working for Butch is the only way I've been able to race and be this successful. I mean, I started in Pi 1600 when I was 17 years old in high school. Me and my buddy Mike Dunn built a car and raced it a couple seasons. We couldn't afford it, parked it, and I just kept finding rides, and people let me pay the nurture fee to drive the car and kept doing good, and people kept letting me drive their car. So then I worked for Butch, and he had an old Brian Collins single-seater sitting out there and said, pull the Porsche and the automatic out and we'll build a Class 10 for you. All right, did that and did real well, and built another car. It was going to be a Class 10, and it was sitting there bare, and buddy Kevin Soder, he goes, what do you think if Butch lets us run that V6 in there instead of a Class 10? I was like, I don't know, let's ask him. Took him to lunch and so yeah, why not? Went in and there we went, and the car was great out of the box and started winning races. I think that car's raced 21 races and won 17 of 21 races. I think winning this race again this year is a pretty good chance. I mean, I know this desert real well. I don't know, I just do the same thing I've done the last 2 years and keep a car together at the end, and yeah, you got to cross the finish line to win. So that's kind of my whole mentality of go fast, but still kind of keep something under me.
Towards the end of lap 3, the fight was still on as the field battled the deteriorating race course, lap traffic, and each other for position. B.J. Baldwin moved up to second place right on the heels of race leader Larry Rossler. Rick Johnson continued to maintain third overall. Harley Letner moved up to fourth, but T.J. Flores remained dangerously close behind him in the fifth position. Going into the fourth and final lap, the racers were exhausted and their vehicles beat up. At the beginning of the final lap, with over 100 miles of battered race course still ahead, vehicle and driver fatigue became a major factor. Although off-road vehicles are designed to take a beating, they are not indestructible, and vehicle breakdowns increased dramatically as the race neared the final stage. By mile 300, the drivers had been subjected to over 6 hours of bone-jarring racing and temperatures of up to 150 degrees. While closing the gap to within 30 seconds of the race leader, B.J. Baldwin was forced to stop and change out a damaged drive shaft. The repair was lightning fast, but cost B.J. critical time in his effort to catch overall leader Larry Rossler. Many competitors would have focused on a solid finish at this point, opting for second or third place, but not ballistic. BJ was unfazed by the delay and continued to push harder than ever. During the fourth and final lap, Larry Rossler continued to drive the number 8 trophy truck for Norman Motorsports and stayed up front, dominating the field. Rick Johnson remained steadfast in the third position. And Harley Letner and T.J. Flores were in a heated battle for the Class 1 victory. Larry Rossler came into the Norman Motorsports pit with no issues except for a leaking shock that the team determined would hold on for the finish. Even though Norman's crew had heard news of BJ's mechanical issues, they remained focused and executed a fast tire change and refuel. They were not about to break Larry's stride and let BJ catch up unnecessarily. As the war for the overall win began to slip away for many competitors, there was still a battle for class champion to be fought. And for many, it was a fight all the way to the finish line. For Snore President Don Wall, off-road racing isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Don drove over 200 miles with his daughter Allison in the ultra-competitive 1600 class. Rick Johnson had transmission issues all day and was hoping his wounded number 71 trophy truck would make it to the finish. Harley Lettner saved the best for last. He drove smart all day, maintaining his vehicle, and poured it on during the last lap. His margin over TJ Flores was a mere 2 minutes, and he knew one minor mistake could cost him the Class 1 win. Near the end of lap 4, TJ Flores caught up to Rick Johnson with Harley Lettner just in front of him. But TJ was unable to pass due to dust and vehicle traffic. Driving at speeds of over 100 miles per hour in many sections, B.J. Baldwin knew the margin for catching the race leader was slowly fading. He desperately tried to catch up with Larry Rossler, but in the end, Larry kept on pace and crossed the finish line a full 10 minutes ahead of the nearest competitor. Larry Rossler and Roger Norman had a perfect race, starting and maintaining the lead for the entire race. Roger Norman and Larry Rossler are the 2010 General Tire Mint 400 overall winners.
We couldn't be happier that it's our first time here and we could win it. It's just, good job, Larry.
Thanks. Well, to win the Mint 400, this is like winning the Baja 1000 to me. This was harder than the Baja 1000 and just really brutal.
Harley Lettner took second place overall and the Class 1 victory. BJ finished a very respectable second in class and third place overall. TJ Flores earned second in class and fourth place overall. And Rick Johnson finished third in class and fifth overall. The General Tire 2010 Mint 400 class winners are Trophy Truck, Roger Norman. Class 1, Harley Lettner. Class 10, Becky Wick. Class 12, Brian Freeman. Class 1450, Kevin McMurray. Class 15, Wendell Mortensen. Class 1600, Blaine Conrad. Class 18, Chuck Harvey. Class 3, Donald Moss. Class 3000, Pete Soren. Class 5, David Olis. Class 5 1600, Steve Patton. Class 7, Heidi Steele. Class 8, Sheldon M.D. Paul. Heavy Metal, Dan Unsicker. Jeep Speed Challenge, Eric Helgeson. Jeep Speed Cup, John Krelwitz. 7S Mini Medal, Rick Deutsch. Pro Truck, Troy Vest. Stock Bug, Robert Johnson. Trophy Light, Gary Messer. General Tire presents the General Tire Mint 400. Directed by the Martelli brothers. Produced by Mad Media.